one tweet right now. I want to talk about this right here by Sam Monson. He's like the main dude from PFF. He's the bald dude. He actually had this quote right here. Brock Purdy has never lost a regular season game, and we still don't know if he's any good. Kyle Shanahan is an absolute magician. So, do you agree with the statement that we still don't know if he's any good, or dude, you gotta know at least by now?
I think by now you got to know that he is good. Now,
at least good.
Now, yeah, just good. So I'm not saying like he's elite. I'm not saying he's at Patrick Mahomes level, but he is good, man. I'll be honest. If I had to choose between him or Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones got that huge contract, I would pick Brock Purdy over him.
And they pretty much, I think it's consensus that Daniel Jones, he's at least he's a good quarterback. He's nothing great, but that's like the bar right there. That's like the bar. He's I think you're right. He's better than freaking Daniel Jones, man.
Daniel Jones, Dak Prescott, and these are the guys.
Well, I'm not sure. I wouldn't go. I don't know about.
Well,
Dak,
but what I'm saying is,
Dak's throwing for like 5,000 yards.
But what I'm saying is that these are like the type of quarterbacks where they're not at the Patrick Mahomes level, but the analysts are in love with them. Like these are quote unquote like elite quarterbacks. And to me, I think Brock Purdy could play with them, like against them, like as far as he's at that level. I'm not saying again he's elite. He's still got to prove himself in the playoffs. He's got to get to a Super Bowl and he's got to get the job done. But is he for sure a starter? Can he play the game? And can he win us, have us a winning record? Absolutely. 11-1. And the only loss was when he had the UCL or injury. That was the only loss he got. I mean, that says enough, man. I know Jimmy G, when we first got him, he had like that 4 to 5 game winning streak and everybody was all hyping him. And then, and then it went downhill. But man, 11 games, like that's like pretty amazing. And the fact that what's even more impressive is that his turnovers, he hasn't really thrown that much picks. I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been like at least under 5 for sure. And so he hasn't thrown a lot of turnovers. He's gotten the ball out quick. He doesn't give up that much sacks. If he gets sacked, it's usually about like once or twice. Today, he only got, I believe, like just 2 sacks on him. And overall, he's been like just more consistent, man. I love like the way he's been playing. Again, man, everybody was raving on him last week that he couldn't make those deep balls. I know it was only 37, but still, the fact that he was able to stay in the pocket, shoot it all the way to Debo for that touchdown, man, that was amazing to see. And then I'm just excited for him to see his progression.
Yeah, man, there's no question that that he's actually at least a good quarterback. Like that's obvious, man. You have to know by now. You have to know by now. Like I'll be real, when I coached the little kids, and after that first practice, you know which kids are good and which kids aren't, So you gotta know right away, man. Like it's obvious. He's had 11 games already, or 12 games, 11-1, every game that he started. And it's not like he's putting up scrub numbers. This guy's averaging like 2 touchdowns at least a game. And last week was probably considered his worst week against the Rams. And it still was a solid ass performance. It's ball quarterbacks will take that any day of the week, So come on, man. We're averaging 30 points a game. You could tell, like, okay, so remember back in the day when Rex Grossman was quarterback with the Bears that had a badass defense. You knew Rex Grossman wasn't that guy. He was a below average quarterback that they were basically hiding, They were just like, we're going to win with this badass defense, run the ball, and we're going to do. Brock Purdy, man, he's making throws. Something, guys like Rex couldn't do, or other quarterbacks up there couldn't do, man. He's actually been a part of this offense, He's not the Trent Dilfer that won the Super Bowl. Who's all these other quarterbacks that won Super Bowls with?
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco actually had a good Super Bowl, but Brad Johnson from the Bucks. So he's better than all those quarterbacks right there. And it's obvious, man, to me. And today he really proved it with all the blitzes they had. I think they said it was the 3rd fastest release time in all the NFL this year. So he was getting the ball quick, while pressuring his base, And those 85%, and those times when he couldn't find the guy, he was doing the smart move, man. He wasn't doing anything crazy. I thought he just played solid, man. He's been playing solid all year.
Like I said, I think he only got sacked. I want to say like 1 to 2 at the most. I only saw it 1 time.
I think it was 2, but one got the penalty when they landed on him.
But the fact that he's able to get the ball out and he hardly gets any sacks. I remember, again, bringing up that Jimmy G game, I believe was the Chiefs Chiefs or Falcons, those are games like he got sacked like 5 times, 3 times in those games. And it's because he didn't know what to do. Like I said, when we went in that play action and he turned around, he saw the 2 defenders. He was like, shit, I gotta get the ball out like with the quickness. Mm-hmm. Any other quarterback that we had in the past, they would have held on to the ball. We would have been backwards at 15 yards.
We've seen it all the time with, remember Kaepernick his last few years where he was just getting sacked.
Yeah.
He was holding on the damn ball too long.
That's how Jimmy G got hurt.
And Trent Baalke, remember screaming in the press box was like, throw the damn ball. Jimmy Garoppolo
got hurt.
Trey Lance, he had the ball a lot when we saw him. It was a short amount of time, but when we saw him, he had the ball a lot too. So it's just Nick Mullins. We could go on and on with all these quarterbacks, man. And he's just the guy that processes it quick. And then he gets rid of the ball, you know. And people are like criticizing, oh, he's throwing checkdowns. Nah, dude, he was throwing some strikes down the middle. I think last week he had the highest rate of the most throwing ball down the field, like 8.7 yards. Mm-hmm. And this week we'll have to see what it is. But he was throwing the ball downfield too. But he was getting freaking hit like right away. So of course he was throwing those screens too. Because if an extra guy's coming, you got to get rid of the ball quick. And then you got to throw it to your checkdown. So he was doing everything right, man. So.
And one thing I wanted to add though too, also just by him being good, you've seen like in our past, and I don't want to keep bringing up like the past quarterbacks, but they all had their go-to players. Man, today he got Jennings involved and Ronnie Bell involved. Ronnie Bell got his first touchdown, and so with him, that's what I really like about him is that he's not dependent on one person. Like how you brought up Kaepernick, he was only really dependent on like certain receivers like the Anquan Boldin, the Crabtree. Once they were gone, he didn't have those weapons. He couldn't really get it to like the unknown names like the Quentin Pattons, and you know. But with Brock Purdy, I love that he's getting everybody involved and that he doesn't like panic. And so that's really good to see like our offense that we're not just relying on Christian McCaffrey or we're relying on just a Debo. He's getting everybody, and everybody's like I said, man. Ronnie Bell, he's gonna have those opportunities if once those guys get hurt or they have the opportunity to play. That they're going to have the opportunity to make those plays happen. He saw it today, man. He got a touchdown.
And it was a different game, too, because actually his number one receiver this year so far has been who? Brandon Ayuk. Yep. He didn't have him, and he still was able to, you know, have no fear. I'm going to throw you the ball. Bow, I'm going to throw you the ball. Kittle got a huge, this is probably his biggest game.
This is his biggest game.
So, I mean,
he had, I believe, around like 9 targets.
Yeah.
And so he had some big runs.
So he didn't have his guy, but still he's able to find other guys and over 300 yards passing. 2 touchdowns, rating of 111. So, man, obviously, if you don't know by now that he's a good quarterback, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to tell you. But, man, so we got kind of a long video. But make sure to like this video, comment, subscribe. Talk to you next time. Go Niners. Peace.